Hello, Aries. Welcome to Dove and Serpent Tarot. My name is Paul. If Aries is your sun, moon, or rising sign, this is your reading. Please hit the like button, leave a comment. Consider subscribing to the channel, especially if this reading resonates with you. It's totally free. It doesn't cost you anything. All right. And if there is anything you would like me to pray over, or meditate upon, or send positive energy toward, please let me know. All right, this is going to be a general reading, so try to be open and receptive to whatever may come through during our time together. I am merely the messenger. And I ask you to connect directly with each of these cards and use your own intuition to take you beyond the details that I might provide. And remember, Aries, that the most important part of any tarot reading is you. And in Knight of Cups to begin. Very interesting. Could be a water sign person in your life. To me, this card is all about the giving and receiving of affection. Okay, so I think that this month, because this reading is meant to span the month of December, the kind of the finishing out of the year. It could really be focused on how we are giving and receiving affection. See, now my cat's here because she wants to come and get some affection from me, so she's welcome to come and visit us. And now we've got also the builder, right? The Prince of Pentacles. Interesting kind of duality that we've got here, right? We've got love and affection, and then we've got business and building. It's kind of a personal, professional. So maybe we are looking for a balance between, the work that we do, the kind of, see, now we got some fire energy. A lot of court cards already here. Could be looking for a balance between another court card there, Tower. Yeah, that's what it feels like to me. It kind of feels like we are going to be striving for a balance between our, let's say, more professional life or more kind of outward focused life or public life, right, versus a private life, personal life, love life, right? It could be. But before we get into any of that, let's select the mystery card, bonus card, confirmation card. This is one random card from the Smith-Waite Tarot. We're going to set it aside over here. We're going to put little Bob Ross right on top there. And we're not going to look at that card until the very end. It will tie everything together, and it will give us the confirmation that we need at the end of the reading. Okay. If at any point during the reading you feel like you know what that card is, go ahead and put your prediction down in the comments. Okay. Let's do it together. Let's make it a group exercise in intuition. All right. But first, let's take a look around the room. We have two major arcana, the Magician and the Tower. The Tower's in the position of what we don't want. The Magician is in the position of what's pushing all of this forward. It's almost like we've got to figure things out or it's going to reach a critical mass. Okay, so I feel like December is really going to find you with a greater sense of balance, a greater sense of kind of giving equal attention to different places of your life, to different, different realms of life. This isn't a career reading. This isn't even a romance reading, right? It's a little bit of everything. I like to say these are life readings, all right? And life, we know, is not really compartmentalized like this. It's difficult to have your, let's say, your external life, your public life, work life. Maybe you're retired. Maybe this is your involvement in a group. Maybe this is your volunteering. This is like, let's say, the work you do outside the house, whatever that might be, right? Along with your personal, internal, spiritual life, love life, your intimate life, the rest of the stuff that we don't give away in the external world, right? And so I see that there's kind of there's a mixing of these two. These two cards are literally right on top of each other, yeah? So it seems to be that either you're doing something with your life that is blending this idea of public and private. It's something that is intensely personal to you, but is also something that you're kind of sharing and giving out to the rest of the world, which we see implicit in this card, because this card's about the giving and receiving, right, of this water energy. It could be that you have a gift, right, and you're now finding ways to build upon that gift and find ways to share it, right? So it could be that you're taking something that you feel intensely passionate about, something that is very personal, and you're finding ways to now share it with the world, right? Build it into something that is a business or an organization or some kind of a, a community oriented, business or something like that, right? A foundation, a charity, an organization, something like that. Because I don't feel that it's really possible to separate these two, okay? And we kind of, even with the Six of Wands here, we have this idea of finding a way to make things work together, right? And maybe that's what the magician is doing, is trying to find a way to blend both this personal, private passion and this external, public work, this, the building, right, in the external world. And with the earth and fire here, or the earth and water, maybe it is the fire that we have all around us that really needs to fuse these two together, right? Maybe that's what we're trying to do here. Let's talk about the Prince of Wands here at the top of the Path of the Dove. This is, in some ways, this is the energy that you're kind of trying to summon in order to take care of both of these aspects of your life. Okay? And I don't know exactly what the two areas are, but I feel like it's kind of a public and private. It's kind of an external, internal. Maybe it's your spiritual, religious practice, and then the work you do, outside of that. I think December is going to see a realization for you. I think you're going to realize that these things cannot be kept separate. Here's the Seven of Wands. With the Prince here, we're trying to summon the energy to do everything and to put as much time over here as you do over here and really to create this balance. But what we're learning with the Seven of Wands down beneath everything is that this is not going to lead to balance. This is going to lead to fatigue, right? It's going to lead to exhaustion. It's going to lead to a lack of interest or a sacrificing of one or the other of these things. Okay? And I don't know what they are. It could be something like a professional life and a romantic life, right? The idea that we have to keep them separate, or even the idea that maybe you have to choose. See, I think there's a way that you're going to achieve this kind of balance where everything is getting the attention that it needs. And to me, it feels like there's a mixture, there's an overlapping of these things, right? It's these two that are working together, being fused together rather than trying to be kept separate, okay? Because with the Seven of Wands here, I think we're realizing that we just don't have enough hours in the day, right, to pursue with the required amount of attention and energy and creativity each of these things separately. So I think we are kind of fusing this all together, right? And it could be something like you're taking your some of your spiritual practices or these skills that you have or these what is usually a personal and private thing for you, you're building that into something that will satisfy this kind of the builder, requirement, the external world. If it's a profession or if it's a charity or some sort of community organization or something like that, right? And I think it's really the magician here in the background that is capable of doing all of this. Because this is Mercury. This is very fluid. This Mercury can bind with any other element, right? And can work to fuse other metals together, right? But doesn't change its essential nature. So whatever your purpose in life is, whatever your will is, I don't feel like it's being altered or sacrificed. I don't feel like you have to really give anything up. I don't feel like you have to change what it is that you're all about in order to achieve the kind of harmony and victory. See, we've got this Six of Wands in the future position, in the way forward. And this is a card of victory. This is a card of saying that through this kind of fusion, you really are learning a lot about yourself. Okay, so I think December, you're going to be overcoming a lot of challenges. And I think it is this fundamental challenge of the earth and the water, the practical life, the things that are necessary that you have to kind of focus on and build your responsibilities, let's say. And then your passions, your interests, your love, the giving and receiving of affection, Finding a way to do the work and enjoy it at the same time, right? And it is overcoming a lot of things. I think you're overcoming difficulty. I think what we're also overcoming is this Seven of Wands, which could be, in all honesty, this could be referring to some underlying health challenge that you're currently battling. I see that improving. Okay, and even with all of these cards, we could look at this very much like a health thing. Because Mercury is the Lord of healing and sciences and, language and wisdom and all of these things, but healing, right? And that's kind of what we have here with the Knight of Cups and the Prince of Pentacles. We have some healing energy leading to a restoration of health and a triumphing over the imbalance that we have here, right? So I think this is a psychic imbalance as well between, again, this kind of practical earth energy and this, very loving, very affectionate and expressive water energy. But I also see an imbalance in terms of health for some of you. And I feel like that is being restored. Because what we're looking toward, what we're looking up at, this is at the top of the path of the dove. We're looking up at this fixed fire energy, right? This is the Prince of Wands. This is vitality. This is robustness that just does not quit, right? And we're trying to summon all of the strength that we can, even when we don't feel like getting out of bed, even when we feel like we just can't go on another step. We summon this energy, and this really takes us forward. This really sustains our vitality, our enthusiasm, our ambition, our confidence, right? Our creativity. Depends on how this is resonating for you. But again, I feel like this is a life reading, So it might have a little bit to do with romance or with those intimate connections, right? Versus you're feeling like you kind of have to focus on these practical things, maybe this is just, it's love, it's leisure, it's a dalliance. This is for people that don't have anything important to do, right? We're learning how to fuse these two together, right? And I think you're learning a lot about yourself. I think you're learning also the magician. Let's talk about the magician. Because the magician is the one that has to be out on stage performing life, right? Performing the show. And has to be able to fuse everything together into one performance, right? There has to be drama and mystery. There has to be a little bit of humor. There has to be the spectacle, right? The awe, the splendor of it all. So the magician really is the master of fusing all of these different elements together. And I think that's what makes a really wonderful performance, is when there is all of these different elements, right? It's not just all dark and mysterious. There's also, the humor and all that kind of stuff. So I feel like this is your way of really orchestrating, putting together a life that includes all of these things. And we could even look at the Prince of Wands up here at the top as your creativity. Right? So we have your practical skills, we've got your intimate, love and affection, and we've got your creativity and even your spiritual pursuits up here. Right? There's room for all of these. All of these can be had in one life. So I think we're really achieving this kind of fusion, this kind of balance. And that's going to take us over to the path of the serpent. And as I move over here, I'd like to ask for your subscription. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do. Right? Totally free. Doesn't cost you anything. And send some comments my way. I've really been enjoying hearing about where all of you are from, what parts of the world you're watching from. We have a community that really does span the entire globe, and that's really fascinating to me. I love to see that. So anyway, we start with the two, and the two of Swords is the way you're looking at this situation. And I think that we can change this a little bit, because the Two of Swords starts out as saying, well, there's really only a couple options. I can either pursue my creative love, my passions, or I could kind of do what's making money here, right? Or I could do the practical, responsible things. So in some ways, this is like feeling like I can either have love and pleasure and joy, or I could be successful, right? But if we put these two together and if we fuse them in this fire, then what we're saying is we're transcending this apparent dichotomy, this duality, and we're now believing that we can do what we love and love what we do. Okay, so I think December really is a month for you to focus on this, and maybe we have to ask the question. Maybe that's why Mercury is back here, saying, what kind of show are we putting on? What kind of performance, what kind of life, what kind of play or opera are we putting on here? And I think any good opera, again, it's got some humor, it's got some mystery, it's got some magic, right? It's a complete whole performance. It's a holistic experience. So I think you have to ask yourself, what kind of life are you building? Are you doing what you love? Are you loving what you do? And how can we fuse this practical life with this passionate life? Okay. And I think the Two of Swords is us transcending that apparent dichotomy or duality that says you kind of got to pick one or the other. Do you pick what you're passionate about, or do you pick what is going to make some money, pay the bills? Right? Let's look at the position of the environment. We've got the Princess of Cups. We've got dreams, right? We've got a lot of dreams, and our relationship with the environment, well, it's got some water energy. So I almost feel as if you are going to be finding this kind of passionate, intimate experience in your life. And I think since this is in the position of the environment, it's kind of what's surrounding you. I feel like this card is kind of saying that you're going to begin to manifest your dreams in a very real way, in a way that fuses these two. Because see, this is earth and water. So's this. The princesses are the earthy part of the suit that they're in. So this is earth of water, right? And this is kind of the water energy that is now finding form, right? We're able to build it now, right? This is, it's kind of an idea. I'm feeling this, if you build it, they will come kind of field of dreams energy. But I almost feel like we've got to have the spirit first, and then we manifest it, and then we build it, right? We got to have this passion and this creativity and this energy and this love, and then we can figure out how to make it real, how to solidify it in our environment. Yeah. So it's almost like they come first and then you build it. But this card is all about dreams. This card's all about the imagination, the fantasies, the visions. So I feel like December is going to see a real influx of these very creative ideas, but not just whimsical, fantastic, out of this world kind of things, but really practical ways of fulfilling them, I think you're going to have dreams and visions that are going to inspire you about how to manifest this, how to blend the water and the earth together, right? How to fuse all of this stuff together. So this is something important to be on the lookout for. December, the whole month, right? I think all of us, let's start paying attention to our dreams. Let's start writing down. If you don't already do it, write down your dreams, right? Make them more real just by writing them down. Right? You're giving them a life. You're giving them some sort of physical existence just by writing them down or recording it on a tape recorder or something, if people still use tape recorders. I don't know. The app on our phones. But something to give it form, right? And then we could even go a step further and paint the scene, paint the picture, draw the picture. This really is a great way for us to get that 10 of Pentacles. You know, we always talk about the 10 of Pentacles, the picture of your best life. And I always say, get out a sheet of paper and draw a picture of your best life. Well, how much better if that picture comes about through this process of recording our dreams, paying attention to our dreams, and fantasies, daydreams, visions, right? Synchronicities in the world around you. Okay? I think it's going to be a month of a lot of magic in your life. A lot of magic. And I think it's one of these things that as soon as you start on this path of the magician, right, trying to intentionally create the kind of life that you want, as soon as we set out on this path, that's when we really notice that the universe or the world around us starts responding, right? And we start getting more and more synchronicity. And I think that's quite fantastic. My eyes, it keeps looking at this Six of Wands because this is that sense of identity. And this is what initiation is all about. This is what the spiritual work is all about, is figuring out who we are, why we are, and what we're supposed to do. You know, the meaning of life, finding that holy grail. What the heck am I doing here? Who am I? What is this skin suit that I'm in? So this is a stronger sense of identity. And I'm not saying that in December suddenly all your problems are going to go away. No, but you're going to start seeing these really creative ways of solving them. And it's going to give you a deeper sense of who you are. Right? This is a month of self-discovery. This is the month of the winter solstice, when the sun is at least in the northern hemisphere. I know a lot of you are down in the southern hemisphere. But it's still this idea of the extreme point of the sun's journey. Either the extreme inward journey, and we're really discovering who we are, or that kind of extreme outward journey where we are shining in full brightness, full force, full heat. Right? But either way, it's this discovery and expression of who we are. So there's a real focus on self right now, right? And this idea of identity. Okay. And I think for a lot of us, it's going to come through this kind of dream work, this imagination, this creative thinking, creative problem solving, right? What we don't want is the Tower. And the Tower to me is kind of the idea that there's so much tension because all of these things are they're pulling. It's a tug of war between these two. And eventually the rope's going to just snap. Okay. Or one of these things is going to really just kind of give up. And then we're going to experience a bit of a Tower. Okay. But I kind of feel like we want to avoid the Tower, even though Tower moments are quite revealing, right? They're revelatory. That's why there's the eye of truth and there's the mouth as well, right? We're seeing the truth, we're perceiving the truth, and we're speaking the truth. So it might be that there needs to be a little bit of a shedding skin here. There might need to be there may need to be a wake up moment. Yeah. We don't want this, but there may come a day in December where suddenly your eye is open, right? Suddenly it's revealed to you. Now this could be, it could be a major synchronicity. It could be a major life event. It doesn't have to be negative, right? The thing about the Tower is that it's always quite sudden and unexpected, and it always facilitates change, growth, breakthrough, right? This is kind of like we're growing larger than our container, and so we have to break these walls that have been built around us. Yeah. So I feel like a breakthrough is coming, and if you're prepared for it, then it won't cause very much collateral damage, right? But I think if we're working on fusing all of these things together and really growing this life in the way that we intend, the way that our kind of spiritual wisdom is informing us, then I think we can avoid the Tower being too disruptive. Now, at the end of everything, we've got the Five of Pentacles. The Five of Pentacles might be saying that in order for this to not be destructive, right? Because the Tower breaks through any kind of structure that's too rigid, too fixed in place. Then, as we're growing, we have no choice but to break things down in order to continue our growth, right? But the Five of Pentacles to me almost feels like a more fluid type of matter, right? I almost get a watery vibe with this card sometimes. And to me, this is like, as long as we realize that everything is flexible, everything can be altered, everything can be adjusted, as long as we can adapt and the environment can adapt to us, as long as nothing is written in stone, fixed in place, then as we grow, we can change plans, we can change course, we can alter things a little bit. If the magician is on stage and there's a performance, there's this opera, this is the set and the scenery that's on wheels, right? It's all movable. It's all movable. You don't have to destroy the set just to build the next scene, right? We create it that way by design. So things are easily moved around. And I think that this is a life that's really prepared for things. This is your maybe ability to save some money. This is shoring up our health, right? To make sure that we can endure the fluctuation of this kind of growth, this kind of progress, because it's a Five of Pentacles. This is uncertainty. There's a lot of worry that could come with this, right? But I almost feel like this is the chaos or the anxiety that comes more as excitement, because things are happening now. Things are really, really getting a move on. Things are starting to develop faster. And it may seem like chaos. It may seem like, if you're renovating a house, you kind of have to tear out the old stuff first, put in the brand new, right? So I think this is an idea of expecting difficulties, expecting a little bit of growing pains here, but it's all for a good purpose, right? It's all because we are now able to fuse these two together. And I think this is really what it comes down to, the earth and the water, right? I want to look at the mystery card. I want to see if this shows us maybe us living a life that is more value-filled, right? I want to see maybe a 9 or a 10 of cups, or a 9 or a 10 of discs. A 10 of discs would be a wonderful complement to this 5 of discs. Yeah. So I think December is going to really show, it's going to show you a lot of potential. It's going to show you kind of it's going to show you a little bit more about who you are and what you're capable of. But there's still a lot of work to be done, right? Still a lot of growth. But we need to start pursuing a life that is balanced, right? Whole, holistic, wholesome. Let's see what this is. I'm thinking 9 or a 10 of cups or pentacles. If you have an idea, put it down in the comments. Okay. Oh, 10 of cups. Yes, look at that. Beautiful. Beautiful. This is showing that everything is possible, right? Remember we said before about the picture of your best life, where we get that 10 of pentacles and we say, draw a picture of your best life. What do you value? Well, that's kind of something that we'd sit there and we'd consciously think about it, and we'd write that stuff down. And that'd be we draw it. That'd be our picture. It's a conscious task. It's but what we've been talking about is a more unconscious task. Write down what your dreams, visions, epiphanies, and the synchronicities tell you, right? So when we say write down your best life or draw a picture of your best life in that conscious way. I think the Ten of Cups is saying, paint the picture of your perfect life. Dream your best life, right? So it kind of has that more subtle thing here. And now this is taking on a new meaning here, because we've got this water energy. It's like, are we living a Ten of Pentacles life, which is a conscious, just kind of what I've reckoned is my best life and what I consciously value and consciously want? Or are we going to allow our subconscious, unconscious, our dreams, right? Our spiritual, our soul, are we going to let that paint the picture of our best life and then we build based on that? Or are we going to build first and then just think, well, now I got to find some way to make this my dream? No, let's dream first and build what the dream is showing us, right? I hope that makes sense. I don't think I'm explaining that the right way, but we are envisioning our best life based on this spiritual, water, intuitive, intimate energy, right? Rather than basing it on this kind of conscious, practical, I've done the math, seems like this is kind of what I want in life. Maybe we're doing both, right? Maybe the Five of Pentacles is over here to say, hey, whatever that Ten of Pentacles best life that I've constantly been asking you to draw a picture of, maybe it's time to erase. I always tell you, use a pencil. Maybe it's time to erase some of that and fill it in with some dreams, right? This is a reading that says you've got to dream your life and then work toward making that dream a reality. Right? Not the other way around. Not the other way around. I think this is very significant. December's going to be a very good month for you. We're going to do an extended reading, and if you want to stick around for that, click on the link up here in the corner. That will give you access to all of the extended readings. Okay. I am here every day from 6 to 8 a.m. Chicago time. Come back, join me again tomorrow. Okay. Aries readings specifically are every Monday and every Friday. Okay. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do. It doesn't cost you anything, right? Totally free. And send some comments my way. I really love reading all the comments. I do read all the comments. I want you to know that you're the most important part of Dove and Serpent Tarot. I thank you and I love you. And I'll see you again very, very soon.